Can we talk about my man Jayson Tatum turning into a system player? Like, what is going on with my man?
Chill, we've been talking about that. This isn't new.
Turning into, or like, was he already?
But you said there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with being a system player?
Nothing is wrong with that at all. But I feel like when I watch him, because all guys are system players, but this guy, he looks like the go screen, pass. Like there isn't anything aggressive about him, even when he has to be. He still is within what's going on. And don't get me wrong, you do have to deviate from the system to be productive sometimes, because sometimes the system doesn't work and you got to do other things. But I feel like he's relying heavily on the system more than he is on himself. And with that, it's making him look, I'm not going to say average, but he just doesn't look elite like he used to. He doesn't. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what's going on with him?
Chill. I've been telling you this for the last 2 years, and you guys think I'm a Jayson Tatum hater. No, hear me out. Hear me out. No. Here's my thing. I consistently said that Jayson Tatum, when it comes to just skill, talent, and all of that, he's damn near top 3 in the league. And when it comes to just your overall package and what he has and what he can do. He got the size, he got the athleticism, he got the strength, he got a mid-range game when he decides to go to it. He can shoot the 3 ball, he got a bag, he can handle the ball, he'll go and dunk on you. Stuff. He can even get on the block and post you up. You guys tell me he's one of the best defenders in terms of versatility and all of that. So he can do everything. My only problem with Jayson Tatum is between the ears. You are a killer. Go kill. Sometimes he decides not to be a killer. Sometimes he decides to shoot pull-up threes when Jayson Tatum, go dunk on somebody. Jayson Tatum, go put somebody in the rim. Jayson Tatum, go body somebody and get an N1. And he will do these things, and he'll show you that he can. I just don't think he does it enough. Imagine Jayson Tatum with SGA's aggression and mindset. I'm going at you every single possession. You can't stop me. I'm cooking you every time I touch this rock.
And I've seen him do that before.
Jayson Tatum would damn near be the best player in the NBA.
And I've seen him do that before. It's just that watching him now, he just looks like he's there. He just looks like he's one of the guys.
What if that's just who he is? Like, what if that's just who Tatum is? Like, what if that's just him? Well, he's not going to be that alpha dog, clear cut, like a Jokic SGA, where I know I'm going to walk into a building and I'm going to get 30 to 40 points a night. What if that's just who he is? He's still shown that he's still taking 20 shots a game. It's not like the thing with the Tatum discourse. It's like, it's not like he's not shooting. He's still taking 20 shots. What if it's just who he is, where he's really good, but he's not that we think he should be?
He's not Jokic. Right?
He's not like that.
I never put him in that category of being that good. No, I've never said that.
Transcendent generational.
No, I never said that about.
But Mark, he could be.
I also think he should be. I disagree with you. I don't think he could be.
He has every single thing that you need to be a generational. How is Shea a generational player and he's not?
That's what I'm trying to say with Ron. It's like, what if that's just who he is? Because he is super talented. You're saying he's just not like an SJ. It's like, why though? Why is he not that? Because you look at his skill set.
I don't think he's great at anything. I think he's really good at everything. I don't think he's great at anything. I don't think he's a generational player, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he's one of the best players in the NBA, but I think you end up being disappointed because you think he can be so much more. When in reality,
because he's shown it to me. That's why.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, Jalen Green showed me for 8 games he could be a superstar, but
no, not for 8 games.
It's a different
Jayson Tatum is not a flash in the pan. No, he's not. He's not been back.
I'm saying Jayson Tatum is capable of exploding, but that doesn't mean that he could just be that on a night-to-night basis. I think he's an elite player.
When's the last time Tatum showed you what LeBron did last night?
30 every night. That's not how averages work.
Well, yeah, what if Tatum's just not good enough?
Obviously, but I'm saying, like, he showed us that season that he can do that.
But what's he averaging this year? Like 28?
Like 26, 27.
27.
Like 20, like he's averaging like 26 for the last 5 years, but that doesn't mean like on a consistent basis.
That's who he is anyway, though. Let's be clear about that. That's who he is.
Don't tell you what someone is every night. The only person who that really applies to is like Shea, because like every night he just seems to get 30. But like with Jayson Tatum's great. I think some of it is Joe Mazzulla is just they're playing different. Like Jaylen Brown's getting more pick and roll possessions, more isolations. Derek White's getting more on ball reps. So like they're playing different, which I think is in the pursuit of getting other guys comfortable doing different things for a potential playoff run, where you can just be like Jayson Tatum, just fit in where you fit in, and you'll still be effective and you'll still be our best player. Which is once again a testament to how good Jayson Tatum is, Because once you win a championship and you got to keep getting better and you haven't made major acquisitions, that means you got to develop the players in-house. Jaylen Brown is getting more on-ball reps than he's ever got. That's probably a conscious decision by Joe Mazzulla and coaching staff, so that in the playoffs, Jaylen Brown can take some of that offensive responsibility. Yeah. Derek White is running more pick and rolls more than ever, because in the playoffs, we're probably going to need Derek White to have this extra ball.
Which I don't like at all.
Which in the short term might not be great in the regular season, which is why they might be struggling. Because you are going away from Jayson Tatum.
But I don't get why Jayson Tatum can't be
it might be beneficial. So like,
I'm agreeing with Ron.
I'm not looking at it and be like, oh, Jayson Tatum's not this guy. I think some of it is coaching. Some of it is they're actively going.
That's what I think it is. I do.
Development. And some of it is Jayson Tatum.
Why do y'all? But why does Tatum get that kind of a pass though?
He doesn't get that pass. No.
People are saying
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Mars is giving him the pass right now.
Yeah, Mars is giving him that pass.
And Chill gives him a pass. And Chill gives him a pass 5 out of the 7 days out of the week, and the 2 days is the days he's not on the panel.
Can we stop?
That's not true.
I
just brought up. I'm sitting here.
I just don't get why.
Swiper, you had asked the question.
That doesn't mean I'm excusing it from happening. I'm just saying.
I don't get why.
I just feel like this is
can be it, but Tatum can't.
Because they're different players. I guess I'm asking generally, when's the last time you've seen Tatum just completely take over a game like LeBron did last night, Chill? Just
against Philly when they were down 20. Like, I watched 4 days ago.
Yes, he did.
Right. And again, I'm asking questions. Y'all been talking this whole time. I'm just trying to get affirmative questions. Sure, no problem. It's a one question in a dialogue, so hush. What I'm saying is, I think Tatum in and out can wade between being a high-end, top-end player, and then his floor, though, is demonstrably lower than his peers. But even for Drench asking, why can't he do what SGA is doing? I think they're functionally different people. And I think 100% that they're functionally different in how they approach the game. I think SGA, whatever it is about his system, it makes him a primary engine where he's constantly in attack mode. Tatum just doesn't exist in that lane. But Tatum also exists in like he's always there. Like he's always around doing something, but he's not the initiator.
But Swiper, the difference between him and SGA. I think the difference between their two games is SGA is more willing to shoot that comfortable pull up. I don't think Tatum has a comfortable shot that he
does play more in the mid.
He doesn't go to it though, but he doesn't go to it like SGA.
But I think to his point though, Tatum's not SGA. He's not Durant. He's not SGA. He's not Durant. He's not Luka. He's not LeBron. He's not Embiid. They all have go-to shots.
He doesn't have that.
And I think that's what Tatum doesn't have, like a go-to that
and that's what I'm saying.
To.
That's incredible. That's incredible that a guy doesn't have. That's incredible that a guy doesn't have a go-to move or a go-to shot. Yet I'm 27 and that.
No. But that sets him apart. Yeah, Chill. That sets him apart from other people. No, because all the people we just mentioned, Jokic post up is the most efficient shot and dangerous shot in basketball. SGA pull up, the most efficient shot from the mid range in basketball. And Kevin Durant pull up, face up, one of the most difficult shots to deal with in basketball. A LeBron James drive, a Giannis drive, LeBron James pull up 3 at this point. And there are things you can tap into. But Tatum, but the issue, Chill. Tatum is not elite at any of those things enough to where you're doing everything you can to keep him off that spot. With SGA, you know where he's going, but you can't do anything about it. I'm either driving to the rim or I'm getting to 10 to 12 feet away from you, and I'm getting that little fadeaway midi from the baseline to the nail or to the other baseline, and it's money. That's what I'm saying. Tatum go-to shot can't be a dribble, sidestep, step back at the top of the key for a three. Not good enough shooter for that.
And that cannot be. And he doesn't. And to me, he doesn't have to do it. Like, dude, just get to a spot. Tatum is 6'9"?
6'9".
Okay, bro. Get to a spot and master the spot. He wants to master these difficult shots. And I'm not saying obviously Tatum averages 28 a game and he shoots at a good percentage for it. I'm not saying he does Chill. I agree. He has all of the attributes to do those things.
All of that stuff.
I think the shot selection, the degree of difficulty he wants to take for a shot selection is what my problem is with him. And that's why when Ron said, why can't Tatum be SGA? I agree. He can be that. I just think I don't know if it's just the coaching. I think it has a lot to do with the coaching. I think their philosophy is more mathematically to try to win the game rather than just playing the game off a field. because Shea plays off a feel. Like Tatum doesn't play off a field. It looks like Tatum. I'm trying to explain. It looks like Tatum is it looks like Tatum is just trying to like do something because the coach said we need to shoot this amount of threes. It's like somebody gave him a sheet and said, "Hey, Tatum, you need 10 threes tonight because if we shoot 10 threes, the percentage of getting a long rebound is this, that, and that." Because there's no way he take these difficult shots and okay with it. Now, SGA on the other end, everything is a feel. There's some analytics in there, like at the end of the clock, 2 for 1, cool. But most of SGA game is straight feel. Yes,
he's forcing the issue.
Tatum is from the time the tip off goes. It looks so analytical. It looks like, Tatum, you're shooting 48% when you're above the break and you catch the ball right here. We need you to let those go more. And there's no feel to Tatum game. It looks all forced. It looks all just not genuine.
It doesn't seem forced to me more than it's to your point about a list. All right. That's what it looks like to me. And I'm not going to do anything else. Even when this, and this doesn't work, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to stick to this, and this. And I'm not awesome consistently at this, and this. And on top of that offense, which is a lot of ball movement, a lot of action, a lot of pick and roll, a lot of mismatch hunting, which they have, which should be conducive to your game. Because I think you're a damn good one-on-one player. I don't think you're a good one-on-one player. I think you're a damn good. Yeah, I think you're a damn good one-on-one player. And the mismatch hunting that they do, like he'll get the ball. They run this one play specifically where the reason why they're able to get the switch is because of the screens. So when Tatum screens, I don't know, let's just say he screens Karis LeVert. He screens Karis LeVert and gets that switch. He'll get that switch, and instead of going after him, he'll get off the ball. The reason why we're getting that switch is for you to go after him.
But that's why we're doing that. But also that's a part of the game that the Celtics do way too much. And that's what I'm saying about this sheet of paper with these numbers on it. Like SGA is a hell of a player. They might not start. They might, and I'm not saying they don't do it throughout the game, but I'm saying like deliberately trying to switch hunt to hunt those switches fourth quarter. The rest of that, they're playing off a field. The Celtics look like they're trying to do everything you're supposed to do late in the game, all game long. That's what the Celtics look like from the tip off. Oh, get that switch on him. Get that switch on him. Oh, it's not there. Get that switch on him. Keep switching. Step back. Well, and it's like I don't that shit is annoying.
Well, wait a minute. I don't want to go away from that because what worked late in the game should work early in the game. And
yeah, but that's not the feel of the game. But chill.
Exactly we are basketball of the game.
No, but that's not the feel of the game because we are basketball players. Like at the end of the day, basketball players got to get in the rhythm. We get in the rhythm by doing things that we've been doing our whole life, which is hooping. Like always need a feel for the game, not hey. You're in this corner, shoot it. Hey, like I don't know how many basketball players can get off on that.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at PrizePicks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With PrizePicks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your PrizePicks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with PrizePicks. So what are you waiting for? Download PrizePicks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. PrizePicks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
So what I'm saying, though, Jordan, is like you just said, the feel for the game. So if I got a feel for the game and this 17-footer is working early, well, that 17-footer should be working late because I'm in a rhythm, to your point, right? So
what if the 17-footer is not working and we keep trying it?
But the difference is that, well, we got a plan. I mean, that's the idea of playing. You have to have a plan. We go to this, and if this doesn't work, okay, we go to this. We have a contingency plan. So with that being said, the Boston Celtics, They always have counters because they don't expect everything to work. No, if this doesn't work,
I don't know if they have counters. I don't know if they have counters, Chill.
But they 100% have counters.
Chill. They will shoot the air out the ball and not make nothing. They would just keep shooting it.
And their counter
what is the counter?
Well, their counter is their defense to speed the game up and get to the rim. That's one of their counters. Their other counter is mismatch hunting, like we just talked about. So
that's not a good. But that's what I'm saying. That's not a good counter. That's not.
Yes,
it
is. And the reason why,
when you don't have a rhythm, how? What are we mismatch hunting? We don't have a rhythm. We just shot 43s. We didn't make any, and we don't have a rhythm.
Here's the difference, though, Jordan. That's not our only shot. Like I just told you, when we're mismatch hunting, I watch Porzingis get in the mid post, and I watch him get in the mid range. Where we get a mismatch with him, now we go to him. Now we get some type of rhythm there. So now, also, when I get Porzingis begging for the basketball in the post, that's something to get us going, as opposed to us just standing on the long ball line, which they do that, but they also do other things too. And these are the same things as they do in the meat and potatoes of the game, which gives them a rhythm. The point that I'm making with the Celtics is with Jayson Tatum in particular. I've seen him be great in stretches. To Mars's point, they were down 26 points to Philly. They weren't in the hole. They were down 26 points to Philly, and he turned it on, knocked down the mid-range, step back threes, pull-up dribbles, getting to the rim and getting and-1s. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is the guy that I know who can do this regularly. Why isn't he doing it? Why is he going away from this? Why am I seeing this from him on a Sunday and then on a Wednesday he looks completely different?
Let's make that point though, Chill.
Because I've seen him play against.
Chill. Let's make that point. What you just said. I want you to just stop right there. You said down 26. You know what players do when they down 26? Fuck the system. Let's just play. That's what they do. They just play. They get in a rhythm like that.
On in Boston. Boston still.
But I'm saying. I know what you're talking about. With Tatum, I'm saying maybe not the team, but I'm saying Tatum. So, for example, the Rockets aren't a good shooting team. We all know that. But they're hard to beat. Number one, because of their defense. They do generate parts on their defense, but they still play the offensive game. A lot of their game, even Dylan Brooks. Rhythm. He gets in a rhythm, he can make a lot of shots. And I've seen him do it. I've seen him wait to see what they're gonna do. He catch the ball. Now he's bumping, fade away. I've seen Dylan Brooks shoot some shots. You're like, damn, how he shot that? Because he's in rhythm. They're not playing by a system. Like, oh, I'm pretty sure they have a game plan. Like, oh, we want to make this shot, but it doesn't. And now they're getting a rhythm, and now they just playing. That's hard to beat. Sure. The Celtics will stick with one game plan. And to your point, yeah, it worked. They won a championship. But what I'm saying is,
they're the reigning champs. They're the reigning champs. 20 games.
Yeah, but it's a new season.
But it's a new season, though. The game plan every single day of the week.
But I'm not because no team.
6 games back from the 1 seed. They just
listen. They're not the Warriors. They're not the Warriors. They're beatable.
We're talking about how the system affects Tatum. Like,
let's go back to Tatum.
The system works in general is not really relevant.
Tatum is obviously playing in the system. The thing what Chill's trying to say is, why can't Tatum? He does it on Sunday, but he does it on Wednesday. Part of it's because of the system. I will say, I feel like when I watch teams, like, is Mazzulla like kind of coaching this out of him? Because I also saw Tatum when he came in the league. He was shooting a lot of mid-range jumpers. Now
that was his game.
Now it feels like it's a lot of threes. Part of it's like a
lot of step back threes.
But my second part is too. It's like, this guy just who Tatum is. We're like 8 years.
Why though? Why? No, why? Why would we just assume that when I think the whole team play like that?
I don't think it's an assumption.
He's not going to be.
The evidence is just saying.
Part of it's because of the system, and you were talking about the difference between Tatum and SGA. Well, the Thunder system kind of relies more on SGA. The Celtic system relies on Jayson Tatum. Same with the Nugget system; they rely more on Nikola Jokic. And the Celtic system relies on Jayson Tatum. You said like, oh, Tatum sometimes he looks like a guy out there who's kind of floating. Well, because Tatum can have like, I saw a game the other day. Tatum was like 0 for 7, and they're still hanging in the balance. And I'm like, oh, because they're really good. But it's also kind of Tatum is. He's not that consistent, great player. Because the MVP level, top 3 players in the world, top 5 players in the world, every single night, I'm boom, boom, boom. I'm not taking a day off. My issue with Tatum, by the way, he's taking 20 shots.
I don't think he's taking a day off.
That's a
he's
damn
just missing them badass shots.
He's just not consistently.
But if your impact, I think this is where it is. So
that's him.
If your impact is mostly determined by how many shots you are or not making, I think that also shows a story about how you're impacting the game. I think I can say SGA beyond the just making shots, impacting the game at a higher level than Tatum is. Jokic, beyond taking or making shots, is more impactful to me than anyone else.
You rely more on them too, though.
Giannis, beyond making shots, I think there are things that he does that it's just greater. Like Tatum is his value, while he's being a tremendous off-ball player, I think that's important. He's also not a good enough defensive player to put him in AD conversation. Like when AD's not making shots, AD is still AD, right? Like he's still having like a very impactful part value on the game. Rudy Gobert doesn't make any shots, and he can be the best player on the floor. Tatum, I think he so much of what he is based on how his jumper is going. And if his jumper's not going, it's like he's just floating.
But it shouldn't even be his jumper though, Swiper. It should just be his game.
I don't agree. I think Tatum has been Boston's like most consistent defender and playmaker this year. I think his
and their best player.
Yeah, but obviously, well, that goes without saying. But I think his impact goes way beyond whether or not he's scoring or not. I just think Jayson Tatum's best skill set is viewed as his scoring. So when he's not scoring well, I think people just paint him as if he had a bad game.
Because he does a whole lot of other things really good.
I think Jayson Tatum's having the best playmaking year of his career. I think defensively, he's been the most consistent defender they've had on the roster this year, who's played like heavy minutes. So like I think he's impacting the game in all of those ways, and I think him fitting within that system, even though I don't think it's the most beneficial system to him. I said this on my podcast a few weeks ago that I think the system caters more to Jaylen Brown's skill set than it does to Jayson Tatum's. But like I think he just fits in so well, and I've given him credit. I think he's the most versatile player in the NBA. I think he can play in a multitude of different roles because he's so good at so many things. I just think the reason I don't view him as the Jokic, definitely not a Jokic Giannis type, all-time transcendent player, is because he doesn't have that singular skill, that elite all-time great skill. Steph Curry shooting, LeBron James driving, Jokic playmaking, Giannis down threat. Like he doesn't have that single generational transcendent skill. And that's not a knock on him. Like very few players in NBA history have a transcendent skill. And Jayson Tatum not having that isn't a bad thing. It's just that I think that's the reality of the situation, where I don't think he's ever going to be able to be as good as those guys, but I do think he could be better if he was in a system that benefited more to his skill set, as opposed to him having to fit into a system that is really good and really effective, but it doesn't maximize Jayson Tatum. And then that comes down to, does Jayson Tatum want to maximize success while being in a system that I think does that, or maximize his individual skill set and his individual goals, which can also lead to success, which I think would happen in a different system.
He's just not good
so
enough.
I disagree with Ron's idea that
it's not that he's not good enough, Casual. Stop saying that. Stop saying that, man.
I mean, it depends on what you're saying good enough for. Do you think
what do you mean good enough for?
Tatum's great. Tatum's a top 10 player. When I say good enough, like that tier one, like I know, like the Giannis, SGA, Luka, like tier one, because I'm seeing like 5 for 12, 17 points. Tatum has
he looked real average last night, Cash.
He did. He looked like one player. And I'm going to piggyback on what Mars said. He just doesn't have that. Something in his offensive weaponry where it's like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
it's
Wednesday.
This right here.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right
I don't rely on that.
I don't think he's soft. I just don't think he got enough dog in him.
There's nights.
Yo, but Ron, what Casual was just trying to sell us when he just named those top tier guys. And now, mind you, I understand that this season I said I got SGA over Jayson Tatum, but the statement you just made, like, oh, he doesn't have this, doesn't have that. We've seen Jayson Tatum have big playoff series, big playoff games. We've seen Jayson Tatum take it to Giannis. We've seen Jayson Tatum take it to everybody put in front of him.
KD, Bron, everybody.
Except for maybe Jimmy Butler. But besides that, besides that though, yo, we have seen Jayson Tatum do these things. I love the fact that Jayson Tatum is okay with being on the team where he has to play in the system with a bunch of other really good players, to where it doesn't emphasize him as one of the greatest players ever. You sometimes you'll run into a guy like Jayson Tatum and might have too much of an ego for something like this. I need my own team. I gotta be myself so I can show everybody I can average 35 and 10, which he can do, which he can 100% average 35, maybe 32.
I think
35.
He would have done it by now.
Well, he was averaging 30 earlier this year.
I'm just saying on a different team. On a different team and a different system.
You can't just say, oh well, if he could have done it, he would have done it by now.
Everybody.
Well, no, because it's not. That's not good. We've had this conversation before. There's a lot of people in the NBA that can average 30 plus points per game, but that's not good for winning basketball.
You said like
that's not okay. Well, whatever. I think you get what I'm saying without us coming to a specific number. I think you get what I'm saying. Everybody, there's a lot of people in the NBA that can average a gang of points, but that's not winning basketball. That's not good for the team. Jayson Tatum, 100% has. I commend him for his ability to be on a team like this and be a team player without hijacking the team, hijacking the offense every chance he gets. So, but for you to try to sell us that he's just not on the level of some of these guys, and then throw. Okay, all right, yeah, you can. But just one say you can. But SGA, but to throw SGA in there, who's been at this level for a couple of seasons, and he's just now getting to what Jayson Tatum has been for 5 seasons already. I think that's disingenuous.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I disagree with that last part, but overall,
I agree with that last part too.
Okay, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Can I respond? I think he missed what he said to the point where I'm not saying Tatum doesn't have it like, oh, he can go on because I saw it in Philly. I've seen it when he took it. Giannis, he had like 40 in a playoff game. I'm not saying he can't do it on a night. What I'm trying to say is I feel like I don't think he has it in him to do it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to be that tier 1 player. Because how many games have I seen from Tatum this season where, man, is he 5 for 20 with like 12 points? Would you ever see that he doesn't do consistently, but many times throughout a season from Giannis, from SGA, from Luka, from Jokic? You would never see that for them. They wouldn't give you this many games like Tatum is. Part of it's because Tatum feels like he doesn't have to have those nights because the system is so good. But it's like he's just not consistently dominant. I don't know what it is. He's just not consistently dominant to be that special player that
I think he is, though.
Want him to be. I don't want Tatum to be that. I know he just doesn't have it.
But that's not based.
Ox, you made a really interesting point. I'm sorry, really quickly. But Ox, you made a really interesting point there, and I commend a guy for being a team guy, right? I commend a guy for being a team guy and operating within the system, which is conducive to us winning. I just watch him and I think to myself, he's better than this. I know he's better than this.
Well, chill.
How understand?
How are you giving him a pass and then saying
I'm not giving him a pass? No, Ron. No,
Ron. I respect the guy for acknowledging the system, but he's better than the system. So which one is it?
No, I think he. No. You, whoa. Stop right there, Ron. Right. 2 things can be true, and you don't have to.
So I respect you for underperforming, but you need to perform better.
No, that's not what he said. He said he respects him for honoring the system, but he can also be better. That's what
he still went 5 for 12.
He could be a better player than what he is within the system. That's what I'm thinking. And when I watch him, I'm like, he can do more than what he's already doing. I'm example of the play that I just brought up. When they run action for him, he gets a screen and he's right at the top of the key, and he's got 1-on-1 in front of whomever he's in front of. We ran this specifically for you. And instead, he'll scan the floor, he'll look at the defense, then get off the ball. And I'm thinking to myself,
system, chill. That's what he's doing.
And I'm thinking to myself, we ran this for you. We ran this action for you to do something.
But why are they running that at the top of the key all the time, though?
Like, because it works. Why do you think they're running it, Jordan? Because it works.
No, but
they do it.
I mean, they run stuff for him to get the ball at the elbow or the mid post.
Yes.
Let's do that more than we do it at the top of the key, though.
Well, I don't know.
So he don't go 5 for 20.
I'm not keeping count, but I do think like the efficiency point to Casual's point about like Tatum's just more liable to have those really inefficient games.
He is. That's my problem.
Yeah, I think that's just an objective fact. But like, when you shoot as many threes as Jayson Tatum does, you're more liable to have inefficient games. That's just the reality of the situation.
I was gonna say that too.
If Giannis manages to go 5 for 20 on all layups, I'm not gonna lie, then something's going wrong. Like, it's just, when is Giannis gonna shoot below 50%?
Can we stop shooting the sidestep threes then? Like, can we stop?
Okay, and
that's what I'm talking about right there.
Then we come back full circle to the issue of Jayson Tatum's shot diet, which, like, I think
shot diet too.
I think everyone's in a pretty strong agreement that Jayson Tatum is not as good of a 3-point shooter to justify the 3-point shots.
100%.
Where the disagreement comes from is, I just don't think he's that good of a mid-range shooter to justify the amount of mid-range shots you guys want him to take. So, like, the issue I have with Jayson Tatum as a scorer is I don't think he really generates consistent offense for himself from anywhere. That's my issue. Like, his pull-up three isn't consistent. He's not a very consistent driver. When he gets downhill, he can finish, and he's actually quite strong. And in fact, I probably want him to drive more to finish, but
that's my thing, Mars.
Yeah.
I think he can get to the rack a whole lot.
In terms of being able to get to the rim consistently and finish, I think he could do that more. But in the mid range, I don't view him as a very consistent scorer. In terms of being a face-up player or a post-up player, I think he's good at hunting mismatches and scoring on mismatches. But in terms of just throughout the flow of a game, do I want 5-6 Jayson Tatum post-ups? Probably not. So, like,
I do.
What's better than that for the in the Celtics offense? What's better than that?
I don't.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Ron.
Because having kicks, to be honest, but. anyway.
Well, right now it's a lot with the offense that Joe Mazzulla has running, which Jayson Tatum has bought into. I think if you ran different looks for Jayson Tatum, I would like to see Jayson Tatum operating off that baseline a little more, coming from one side of the floor, catching the ball on the other side of the floor, maybe getting a mismatch in that action, catching that ball in the short corners, opening up, going to work right there, quick actions, shooting mid ranges off the dribble, maybe getting to the middle of the paint, getting right there in front of the rim. Those type of shots, shooting open 3 balls instead of the step back threes. The
one-on-one,
I hate those. I hate those just as much as you do.
We're all in agreement.
We all hate those. I think we can all agree on that. But I would love to get Jayson Tatum on mismatches, flex cuts, all of those types of looks from the wing, from the baseline at the nail, catching, ripping through, going to the basket from the 3-point line, or get smaller guys, picking on bigger guys, all that. I think Jayson Tatum would thrive in that type of action. That's just not what Joe Mazzulla is running.
Hold on to your point, because I was going to say this. But this is what I was going to say though. And this is what I brought up with you earlier. To that point, what Ox is saying, when he's shooting all those threes and he's missing them, obviously some days he's going to make them, but let's just only focus on when he's missing them. Right? He shoot 10 threes a game. Okay, he's 2 for 10, 2 for 12 sometimes. So now when he shoot those mid-range shots, he's not in the rhythm. So it looks bad because he's not in the rhythm because the shot died. But like Ox, just all the action that Ox just said, let's prioritize that action before we prioritize this 10 threes. And I bet you will see a way better Jayson Tatum from the mid-range. But it's so hard to, like to Mars' point, Mars says he doesn't think he's that good in the mid-range. I could probably agree with you because that's from what you've seen. But what I'm saying is they prioritize them 3-point shots more than they prioritize these easy shots for Jayson Tatum. And I'm saying, let's say on the paper, let's say Joe Mazzulla brought the paper to him and said, Tatum, you only got 4 threes today, bro. I just want you to shoot 4 threes. I bet you he find a way to get, but I bet you he find a way to get 30 still from the mid-range because he's going to go to the free throw line a lot more. I don't think he goes to the free throw line nearly enough. Like Luka Doncic can shoot horrible from 3.
It's due to lack of aggression.
13-3. Yes, he's going to shoot 13 free throws if Luka Doncic is going 0 for 7 from 3. Tatum is not doing that because of the shot died and the shots that they want him to shoot. To me, yes, y'all won, but y'all not the Warriors. The Celtics is not a dangerous team like the Warriors to go back and do the same thing over and over again. Even the Warriors had
the Warriors had the dimension of that mid-range face-up game that the Celtics don't.
Yeah, the Warriors shot a lot of mid-range shots.
It seems like we're all in agreement. We're just coming like the conclusion is the same. Either Jayson Tatum isn't being benefited by the system to maximize him, which everyone seems to be in agreement on. Jayson Tatum sidestep threes. None of us want to see it.
Nope.
Where I think the disagreement is, and I think me and Casual are probably closer to the same side on this as opposed to everyone else. I just don't think Jayson Tatum is as good as you guys think. I think he would be more effective with the offense you guys are suggesting. And I agree with you. I think when you get him those mid-post touches or you get him on flex cuts where you get mismatches and all of those things, I agree with Ox, and I think I've said that before. Like Jayson Tatum would benefit more with more of those opportunities. But the difference between that and like what we're talking about with other players is we're talking about getting Jayson Tatum more opportunities all over the floor in terms of to maximize him. He still doesn't have that singular spot that he can go to anytime, and it's just easy money. We can give him his back to the basket against Darius Garland in the post. That's going to be beneficial. Then we could put him in the mid post or at the elbow, and he can use him as a playmaker or even as a scorer. Or we could have him facing up at the free throw line, and that's beneficial. Or we can have him running pick and roll, and that's beneficial. He can be effective at a bunch of different things. But at the end of the day, what are we going to go to for Jayson Tatum? Whether it's a late game, 1 possession game, whatever. And we know this is automatic, like a KD elbow jumper.
I think, but Mars, I think we figured that out.
At the top of the key. What is that for Jayson?
Mars? I think we figured that out. I think we figured that out if we do the things that you just brought up. All the things, like I think we figure what his go-to shot is if we take out the diet of these badass threes. Because Shea doesn't do that. So the only, like I said,
how did we find out? Wait. Stop right there. How did we find out? How did we find out what Shea was though? How did we find that out?
Because I'm
not
saying
that simple casual.
But this is what I'm. But this is what I'm saying, Chill.
What I'm thinking with Shea is that we found out, to Ox's point, we put him in spaces where he was the most effective. And what Shea did was Shea decided, putting him in those spaces where he was the most effective, this is what I'm good at. this is what I'm the best at, and I'm going to keep doing this. Shai has always been, since I watched him over the last 2 years, Shai is not going to let you off the hook with bad shots. If you're going to give him a mid-range, if you're going to give him a mid-range shot, I'm going to shoot this all night. And why? Because I found out that this is where I live.
And Mars is asking,
what are those so many?
Here's what I'm saying. I found out that this is where I live. Why? Because this is where they put me. This is the space that they put me in. The difference with the Boston Celtics is the Boston Celtics are a heavy long ball shooting team. It's not Jayson Tatum is a heavy long ball shooting guy. This is don't forget, they shoot 53s a game. It's not just Jayson Tatum. That's the whole crew. Shooting 53
he shoots 10 of them, but
he shoots 10 of them, right?
And he's a part of that. To put SGA,
some nights he shoots 15, 12.
To put SGA in spaces where he's the most effective within the system, and he finds out this is where I'm the most effective. That's where he finds out where his go-to is. That's where he finds out.
That's what I'm saying with Tatum, though.
This is where I'm the most effective. Yeah, when you're in this system when you're in this system in Boston, where all we're doing is cracking the long ball. Casual, you said it yourself. When Jayson Tatum first showed up, where was he the most effective?
Well, he was a mid-range player.
Right. That's who he was.
But chill, hold on. Stay right there.
SGA level mid-range. He was just shooting for the mid-range.
But chill, stay right there, though. Chill, stay right there, because you're making a great point. And this is the point that I was making about the sheet of paper. You know why the difference between SGA and Tatum? Okay, Tatum, the Boston Celtics want to take advantage of him at the 4 spot sometimes. They want to put him there, so they want him matched up against some bigs. So we put Tatum at the 4 spot. We go pick and pop. We want Tatum to shoot that 3 because we think he's a pretty decent 3-point shooter. So the computer says give him more 3-point opportunities and it should work. Problem with that is he's not like Mars says, he's not a generational 3-point shooter.
Well,
so it doesn't work that much.
Where do you want him to go?
I want him to play basketball like he knows how to play basketball. Basketball players play off of feel.
He's saying feel the game. So if the defense is giving me space, shoot the ball. But the defense doesn't just give Jayson Tatum
shoot that shot every time.
If you have a smaller defender, take advantage of that smaller defender by taking them down to the deep waters.
There you go.
If you have a big on you, okay, catch the ball at the 3-point line and go downhill on that big.
Rather than looking at the sheet of paper on and saying,
if you are going downhill and somebody cuts you off, snatch back, get to your step back, and shoot a step back mid-range shot.
Okay, but
build a game.
But what is
isn't that basketball 101?
Because we're putting too much.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree in a sense.
That's what I'm saying.
System here, but also if you look at Tatum's 3-point attempts, he's had 3 different head coaches, and they've gone up. We can't just blame Mazzulla because they went up with Brad Stevens. They also went up with Udoka.
What if Casual? That's what I'm saying. Casual, it's the sheet of paper.
Like, what if this?
But it's the sheet. Also, he's at a rough spot in the league where he creates so many advantages, and like the league values big man shooting. The league values big man shooting. I'm not saying he's a big man shooter, but I'm saying he's 6'9", and they can play him at the 4 spot, so they can use him as a floor spacer. Even Porzingis is a 5 spacer too, so they kind of putting him in these positions to where they're playing a chess move based on numbers, not off field. Numbers work sometimes, but the game of basketball has always been played off of field. That's why in the playoffs, teams don't really shoot. Or that's why Austin Day said it the best when he said that mid-range shot is a bad shot. And he said, yeah, it is a bad shot till you got to shoot it in the playoffs because that's what they're doing off of field. Too. Like they do it off of field. Nobody's going into the playoffs and saying,
it sound like
I shoot my mid-range shot right
mid-range, though. You keep bringing up the mid-range. Like
it's not about him being a sniper. That's not what I'm saying.
They're saying, hey, let me do my job of translating what.
Right. Okay.
After Mars does this, swipe. I know you raised your hand, so I want to hear what you had to contribute to this conversation.
It sounds like I think everyone is on the same page of right now. Jayson Tatum doesn't have a consistent go-to that's reliable. That we know this is what he can do anytime. What Jordan and Chill are saying is we have to find that, and the way in which we find that is by putting him in these different spots that are probably going to be more beneficial to him. Maybe it's not a mid-post isolation. Maybe it is a baseline isolation. Maybe it's him seeing the floor at the free throw line. We don't know what it is, but right now we know what's going on right now. This is not it. So we know we need to pivot from that. And maybe it is something else. Maybe there is nothing. But until we've explored all options, we can't just say there's nothing without exploring the possibility of something. And you're saying right now he's not a good mid-range shooter. The percentages say that, yada, yada, yada. But when are we? This is why percentages in a vacuum don't tell the whole story. How many of Jayson Tatum's mid-range attempts they're not manufactured in terms of this is what the intention of the possession was, as opposed to I couldn't get the 3 I wanted, we couldn't get a layup, I now have to take a mid-range shot that I'm not comfortable in. I'm not in rhythm. I'm taking a one dribble pull-up that wasn't what the possession was meant to have, as opposed to when Kevin Durant's coming off a Carl screen, we know he's going straight into a mid-range jumper. So he's in rhythm. He's prepared for that mid-range shot. As opposed to with Jayson Tatum, it's like we're getting a mid-range shot as a last resort.
I do agree in a sense,
which can bring down percentage.
I do agree on the system part. In part, I don't entirely agree on the system, but I agree in part where like I can see it where he is playing the system, and some of his shots do come due to the system either collapsing or he's just shooting in the system. But we have to keep in mind that we do not work for the Boston Celtics. We do not know what's going on behind the scenes. So everything we say, we're just assuming. And what I'm trying to say is he's not a rookie. He's not in year 2. He wasn't drafted by Missoula. He was drafted by Brad Stevens 8 years ago. I kind of want to give the Celtics a benefit of a doubt here and say, don't you think they probably kind of already tried to explore where he should be on the floor? He's been in the league for 8 years for the same team. You would think maybe 1 year they're like, oh, maybe we should put Tatum here. I want to give him benefit of the doubt because we don't work for the Celtics. Brad Stevens has been that organization the entire time, and he's coached him and then been his general manager. What if he's just like, we've explored it? He's been in the league for 8 years. It's not like he's a rookie.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
Hold on, Jordan. Hold on, Jordan. Hold on. Swiper, you had something that you wanted to say, Swiper.
They practice every day too. It's not like they also he's practiced. They
know who he is. Jordan, they know who he is. It's not like it's a situation where he's a new guy. No, they know who he is. I'm sorry, Swiper.
Swiper, talk to us.
No offense. The people who run the Celtics are probably smarter than you and me. So they kind of know what they're doing.
Of course, but it's very easy to see what their intentions are when you go watch the film. It's very easy to see what they're trying to do. Extremely easy.
Well, like I said, Tatum's 3-point attempts have gone up every single year. It was at 9 with Ime Udoka.
What they want to do.
Part of that is just the style of play in the NBA too. Everybody shot
they want to do.
Have got up. But Swiper, are you going to get into the conversation or not?
Yeah, go ahead, Swiper.
You don't have to do that. I just simply I think that this is interesting to Mars's point. If he was I think we're trying to put people in general, and I think this comes from a certain place. If Tatum was as good as people would say he is, I don't think these would be conversations. But I think that's the point. I think Tatum is largely, I think he is, for me, like where AD, Jalen Brunson, and them, that's about where Tatum belongs. But I think the fourth thing is, why isn't Tatum doing these things? Well, I just don't think he's as good as the players we're comparing him to, respectfully. Exactly. And so I think, but I also think he's one of the best players in the world, and he's going to probably be a multi-time champion, and he's going to be one of the 50 best players ever of all time, but he's just not going to be known as like one of the MVPs like that we've ever seen, like one of the all-time greats, which is perfectly fine. I don't think he's better than Harden at his apex. Harden never won a title. I don't think he's better than Kawhi at his apex. Kawhi has 2 championships. I don't think he's better than Durant. Like, I mean, you can have a conversation with Westbrook and all that stuff. Like, I think Russ at his apex was an extremely good player. He's an MVP player, but like, this is kind of weird. Even now, like LeBron, like I genuinely mean this. Like when I watch LeBron play, even at age 40, like that's a dude that is constantly forcing the issue. But he also learned how to do that really young. So we didn't, and he adjusted and developed his game over time. So I just think that like Tatum is an incredible player. And I think the reason why it sounds like hate on the pushback, even for me, is I think because I genuinely don't think he's in the tier of like the best players in the league. But I also think that he does things that are so important that like he's one of the players you can build your team around to win a championship, because he doesn't have any deficiencies that are that glaring that you can take advantage of on defense or offense. And honestly, if I've said even before this last run a couple years ago, like if Tatum was like, if you could put an ideal player like on your favorite team to be like your number 2 or your 1B, it would be Tatum. Like no question. You would be Yeah, you would be like if he was in Denver, for instance, and he playing next to Jokic, and like what he would be, like the level that his game would get to in that situation. I think if you played with Embiid, if he played with even with SGA, think about Tatum and SGA. Like
would be insane.
He'd be able to work off of them in any situation. They would be an unstoppable duo. Like I think Tatum is that. Like he, for me, is the ultimate adjustment player and chess piece to use on any team. But I just don't think that. Like I think it's unfair. And I think Tatum thinks of himself in best in the world conversations, but I just think genuinely, like if you compare him to his peers, I think that's where you start to get the discrepancies. Like I can't name something that Tatum is like that elite at, then I'm going to put him in the apex conversation right now.
Exactly.
But
trying to put Jayson Tatum in the number 2 role.
I said 1B or number 2.
Fellas, I'm about to step
it's
in
hilarious.
here though.
Join way.